This VR game used to terrify me, straight up. Not because the game scared me, but because I terrified myself with the level of brutality that I was using on all of the NPCs that I fought. The only difference between back then and now is that I am desensitized to the absolute barbarity that I can and do dish out while playing Blade and Sorcery. I'd like to say that I have a little more finesse now at least, but then I discover something new to play with and realize I'm still just a caveman with a rock. Now, the fun in this game comes from being able to sword fight with enemies. Nothing wrong with good old sword fighting. It's when you inevitably go completely berserk and start hammering away at them mercilessly or decapitating their leftovers, I'll put it that way, that you start to ask yourself, is this the real me? Is this what having no moral restraint would do to me in real life? And should I have eaten that whole chocolate bar?
I might have to put the graphics down for this video.
These are the great mysteries of life. I bought Blade and Sorcery a few months before the 1.0 version of the game released with a story mode. I finished the story mode of Blade and Sorcery called Crystal Hunt around June of last year, and it was great, except for the ending, which I personally found quite disappointing after all of the effort that I went through to actually beat the story part of it.
Come on. There we go. Oh. Took a little bit more than the head off.
I'll explain exactly why it was disappointing in a bit, but I thought to myself recently I should at least try to get the last upgrade for the gravity magic that I had gone all in on during my playthrough. So I hopped back in the other day to continue the post-end game. And man, there are now a lot of things about Blade and Sorcery that I'm starting to remember. Mostly nice things, mostly, like stealth.
Okay, this is a shh place. We stay quiet here.
In my Assassin's Creed video, I mentioned how much I love stealth in Nexus. And I wouldn't say that the stealth in the two games is very comparable, but it's more like there are aspects that work well in one and that I think would be cool to see in the other. The best example of this is muffling the desperate screams in Blade and Sorcery by sneaking up on an NPC and grabbing their mouth. The physics in this game just perfectly complements the hundreds of ways that you can stab someone or slice their breathing pipe. Very fun things to do, just don't try it IRL. This is a game, calm down.
This is the best stealth weapon in the game. I'm convinced of that. It's this pickaxe, and I will prove it.
I did try a drop attack the other day, and it was kind of successful-ish. Definitely not Assassin's Creed level of efficiency, but it is more physics-based, so it does kind of feel a bit more realistic, not gonna lie. Archery is the best ranged stealth weapon in the game, if you can aim. No surprise here, but perfect physics-based archery is pretty freaking hard, especially with Assassin's Creed Nexus getting me used to this auto-aim bow stuff, which made me feel very overconfident in myself coming back to BNS. Yes, I know what it sounds like, and yes, that is the abbreviation for Blade and Sorcery. Stop overthinking it. Most of the weapons in this game are even more fun when you imbue them with magic. I gotta say, the tier 3 gravity magic is looking to be fun, but I unlocked it at the end of my play session while my headset was low on battery, so I haven't tried much of it yet. I definitely should give a mage build a try since I've done the knight route already. It does seem fun.
This is cool.
And now that I have gravity magic up all the way, it also seems more doable. I could just restart, but then all the effort I put into this save file would just go to waste sitting on a dusty shelf in the back of Steam's cloud storage server. So I'ma just max out every weapon and magic ability I can on this save. The other awesome thing with magic is Hector.
It has been a while. How ya been? Oh, I didn't leave you for that long. Come on, it's not that bad. You're overreacting.
This golem dude Golem. Nope, that is Lord of the Rings. This golem dude that you fight every time you need to get a magic crystal. That's why they call it Crystal Hunt. Right, the basics of Hector are, he is a big guy. You can climb all over him like a flea. He has different elemental powers, from lightning to fire. Don't think I've seen gravity yet though. He is very predictable and a bit repetitive after you've done a couple of his boss fights. And that kind of does make sense, I guess, since there's not much going on behind his face shield other than the crystal anyways. And the best part is, Hector is the first silent NPC. He doesn't say anything. He just makes low bass sounds. The Baron should honestly take some notes from him. Right, Baron. He's the game's shopkeeper with retired pirate vibes who's only got one hand.
Welcome, traveler.
What's up, dude?
He was a lot of fun in the beginning of the playthrough, I would say. It's nice to have an NPC that talks outside of the regular stuff the NPCs chant as their mantra. But he still has very limited dialogue and won't stop repeating himself. He is constantly reminding me of things I already know.
When you're ready to check out, place your items on a red cloth on the counter.
I'm starting to believe that I might start hearing red cloth for purchases, blue cloth for sales in my sleep at this point.
If you want to sell me something, just place on the blue cloth.
I did.
It drives me absolutely crazy. Some more dialogue options would have been thoroughly appreciated. Maybe a tidbit of information on each weapon or armor set that you buy, or stories of his adventures, or anything other than red cloth, blue cloth. As annoying as he is, it wasn't Baron's fault that I stopped playing this game after I completed the Crystal Hunt's story. After finishing the story mode, I didn't feel like I needed to return to the game. The end of the story feels like it's supposed to be the end. Finito. No comebacko. Probably because technically, either your character dies, which happened to me, or the world dies. And I don't think either of those screams keep playing the game. On top of that, there isn't really enough time to fully upgrade all of your magic from Crystal Hunt mode, unless you ignore the giant mysterious doorway you eventually open. I mean, who would ignore that bright flashing light? So the only way to finish collecting and upgrading everything is to keep playing and pretend the end of the game never happened, which feels weird, and that's why it's taken me so long to pick up the game again. Now, don't get me wrong, the game is amazing. If you ever want to scare yourself, definitely get this game. Hashtag not sponsored. It's still totally worth it as long as you don't get too invested in the lore and the story. But yeah, that's all the biased opinions from me today. Here's another video for you. See ya!